Good evening, everyone. It's Jazz from the West Ham Irons channel. We'll be reviewing last night's game between West Ham and Watford. So first of all, it's hello to the bearded hammer. Ian, how you doing, sir?
Hi, yeah, I'm good, thank you. Just got in from being chucked out of somewhere through work, but hey ho, it's all fun and games, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. Again, subscribe to the bearded hammer. It's a new sort of West Ham channel by Ian. So hopefully, Ian, once you're settled in, hope to collaborate a bit more with you, and let's see what we can do together, mate. Something that I'm looking at with other channels to support each other in this, shall we say, flooded market, and see if we can do something different and together, mate. Yeah,
brilliant. Thank you very much.
Welcome to the show, mate. Got James from Alberta, Canada. James, how you doing?
Yeah, not bad. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad.
Good.
Let me find James's details. So again, James has got his own channel. So all three of us understand the work that goes behind it, the stress, the running around, trying to think of ideas and that kind of thing, really. But James, you've been really busy with kind of long articles and really long sort of discussions on different items. So how's it all going for you on the channel, mate? All good?
On mine, yeah, it's going all good. I'm mainly recording it around, say, my local time, 10 o'clock at night, so it's up in time in the UK the next day. Mainly recording it off my phone right now, but yeah, it's going good.
I've got to hold my hands up. I've got to watch your last two shows, mate. I haven't done that, so I'm definitely going to do that next couple. Might even be this evening. Yeah, I'll watch that, mate. And again, what we're going to be doing, I've got some ideas I'll share with you and the Bearded Hammer of how we can help each other, promote each other, collaborate more together, mate. So definitely, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Last but not least, it's Mitchell. How you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, all good.
Good lad. Let's see what's happening in the comments. We've got Steve, a good loyal follower, Steve. Oi, oi, boys. He's in good spirits after a good day's work. The 4 Musker Hounds. It is what it is, mate. So, yeah, before we get into the game, we've done a show earlier in the day about, obviously, what's been in the news. Unless you've been living on another planet, we've been, obviously, again, for the wrong reasons, in front of all the lovely media that love our lovely, darling soft club, like the TalkSport and BBC and Sky. So don't want to go really deep into it, especially because, like, our friend James has covered it quite a lot, had a lot of passion for it when he spoke about it earlier in the day. If everyone can quickly sum up perhaps a minute of what they think has gone on, which is kind of off the pitch stuff, isn't it? And that kind of thing. So Ian, take it away. What you felt, what you've heard, mate, about our beloved Zuma and unfortunate.
I don't condone it in any way, shape, or form, and think maybe there should be some action. Does that have to be involved in football? No, it should be separate, as the incident is. I think, if I'm honest, there's been a lot of talks about it recently, but I think Simon Jordan summed it up the best on TalkSport. There has to be an opportunity for him to sort of make good on the situation and learn from mistakes and get given a second chance. There's been a lot of calls for him never to play in the Premier League or for West Ham again, or in some senses football ever again. I think there's been a lot of opinion on it, but I think it's down to the appropriate authorities to deal with it as it should be dealt with.
Perfect, mate. Mitchell, yourself, your kind of views on it, mate?
I've been I'm switching around with my views all the time, to be honest, on this, because at first I thought it was extremely bad. However, when I've looked into it, and I think I've to look at other people's points of views, like the other bad things that have happened with other footballers, especially in the Premier League, like Marcus Alonso, for example. It's not a good situation. It is disgusting, to be fair. But I think the punishment he's received, which today's come out, that he's paid 2 weeks' wages towards a charity, and that the RSPCA have taken the cats off him. I think that's fair enough, because I think the charity will do very well with that. Whatever, I think 240 grand. I think that is. I think that's a big donation, and that will help him a lot. Yeah, so I think the punishment was good. I think maybe a 1-game ban would have been fair, if I'm being honest. Maybe if that was yesterday or even at Leicester, I couldn't really moan about it, because I think that would be fair personally. But aside from that, I think it's a situation which I don't think has to be read in too much detail. I think he's paid the fine. He's had his cats taken off him, which was right, and hopefully now we can just kind of move on, because I think too many people are going slightly over the top of it. Nonetheless, it is a disgusting situation which shouldn't have come up, but it has. So we move on.
And James, your feelings, mate?
I think, punishing him with the £250,000 fine and the club dealing with it internally was the right call. I don't agree with him kicking an animal like that, but at the same time, people are overreacting to it. Like people like Chris Kirkland's come out and said that what he did was worse than racism. I'm like, not really. And Zuma's probably been the victim of that himself. You look at footballers like Trevor Sinclair, one of our own legendary players, even said, who was convicted of drink driving and racially abusing a police officer allegedly, and he's coming out and saying some things that Zuma should have a more severe punishment. I'm like, give it a rest. People blow things out of proportion.
And Jamie O'Hara, the cunt.
He was on it last night, Mitch. Me driving back M25.
Anyway, yeah, like
I can't stand that bloke. I can't stand him. And they do it deliberately, TalkSport. They have people wind up merchants. The only one I respect is Ali McCoist. I like him. He's a good lad, and he always speaks what reasonable sense.
I try not to listen to TalkSport because for me it's disgusting.
We all say that, but we all get drawn in, don't we? We're all interested.
Well, I only get drawn in when I see it's got like, I don't know, like 10,000 like comments and all that on the post. Then I'll be like, okay, what's this all about?
I know what you mean, but what is it's a bit like the Arsenal fans TV. You want to see it kind of. I
don't know, but that I think I actually enjoy Arsenal fan TV. That but just makes me feel sick. TalkSport, and when I listen to it, it's the same thing. Oh, he's got the echo again. The last time got me the giggles. Fuck's sake.
Really, the echoes again?
Only slightly. It's all right. But
he's in the well. He's in the well.
That's right, Matt. Honestly, it's only tiny. It's all right, mate. It's only because I can hear it just about my headphones. It just makes me laugh. That's all.
Be all right. Yeah. So TalkSport do it deliberately. They say things that wind us up because they know we're going to get on the phone. We're going to type about it. We're going to send Twitters about it. But it kind of is what it is, mate. And out of interest, with especially any sort of James, Ian Mitchell, have you got any pets or have had pets in the past?
I used to have a cat. Yeah, she passed away a couple of years ago. But she was like 19, so she was quite old. Yeah, so that's the only pet we've really ever had. I had little things like hamsters along the way and a lizard, but nothing like. I've always liked dogs, to be fair.
Yeah, I've got 4 dogs.
I've got a cane of Corso. I think if I kicked him, he'd probably eat me. So
you're gonna have to show us the photo, mate. And what about you, James? Any pets that you've ever had in the past? James is something like a submarine.
James had enough.
Down.
He's had enough.
James was sideways like the whole time.
Listen, it wouldn't be our channel if we didn't have any of those things. It's kind of all kind of gung-ho, isn't it? Matt, what we were discussing before we get into the game, Mitch is going to get Mitch has got me going again. Matt, we were asking a quick 1 minute. Your feelings around what we heard about the Zuma things with Zuma, mate. Yeah,
disappointed to be honest, mate, and completely out of the blue because I mean I know it's easy to judge someone, but I mean Zuma always comes across as quite a nice guy on the videos. Comes across smiling, happy, and when I saw it, I was just like, what the hell's going on there? To be honest. How people treat pets is quite a good way of judging how people are as a person, to be honest. You know what I mean? It's kind of a shit thing to do. It's like with people that don't put their shopping trolleys away. You know what I mean? If you don't put it away in the bank, you're kind of a bit of a dickhead, to be honest.
Listen,
because it's not illegal to not do it, but it's just a good thing to do,
Matt, I've got 2 teenage boys, and I'm a bit of a clean freak. I find things like once upon a time, I'm like to the missus, I can't find any socks. So she goes, I don't know. It gets washed. It goes back where it should found. I think I found 10 pens under my boys under the bed.
Yeah, mate. I get
old cum socks.
Oh my god! Groundbreaking that was, mate. My god!
I think it's a real difficult one to come back from, and I understand what Moy said. His responsibility is the sporting side. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, would I have played Zuma if I was a manager?
James, what's going on with you,
Some of the again.
Jay.
Wait, no, wrong side.
Oh. Carry on, Matt. Carry.
I just said, if I was Moyes, I don't know. I probably would have dropped him, to be honest. But and put in Dawson, especially as up against Watford, and But
I love our group.
Oh God. At the end of the day, what Moyes is there for, it was a massive game in so many ways. You know what I mean? It was a must-win game, and at the end of the day, I think Moyes looked for the greater good. In the sporting aspect, because at the end of the day, he's there to get results. His performance is based on results, so he took that decision. I don't know. Let's see what happens, mate. Let's hope that he doesn't get. Because it could become more serious if they decide to press charges. Animal cruelty laws. It could get a little bit more complicated. Where's my son? I don't know, mate. I need it with this short hair right now. But
bring it next time, mate.
Yeah, but the thing is, he was just a fucking idiot, to be honest, because especially the brother that was putting all the smiley faces and laughing faces on the video.
Yeah.
You just
Play
wonder
Stagnant Bridge.
Yeah, and Crystal Palace, I think it was, that said that they're putting in this program now to help people who are out of the academies and stuff adapt to life. I think they need it for the pros as well, because sometimes the pros have no idea of what's going on in life. In what way did the brother or whoever that was think that was a good idea to put that online? You know what I mean? What is going on in your mind there? And not saying if we didn't see it, it wouldn't be wrong. But there's shit goes on in everyone's house, all of us four, that we wouldn't like to see it go out in public, but we don't have a dickhead brother or cousin that's putting it out there. So I think, they need to sort that kind of stuff out, because at the end of the day, after what's happened with Greenwood, people are going to be jumping on top of these kind of things. And we just need to focus on the football, to be honest.
Yeah,
I'll be surprised if Kurt clubbed him, his brother.
We'll see. I'll just quickly wrap up and say that what happened was his younger brother put out on Snapchat, maybe 30, 40 hours ago, it could be even sooner than that, thinking it's funny with the funny emojis and that kind of thing. And what's worrying me is that a normal day in their household? That's something I'm concerned about. Especially with a young
kids,
child.
With the kids, yeah.
With the kids watching, because they're going to do the same if they think this is funny and normal. That cat, that animals are like, you can do whatever you want with them. They're toys. They're not living things, which is atrocious. Hopefully James will try again. And then what I found out is, which we don't know, is how did the Sun get hold of it quickly? The Sun was on it really quick, and that's when it went viral, I think.
That's amongst people. We don't talk about them.
Yeah, I know what you mean. When we were growing up, we used to like page 3 and the back page, but that's another story anyway. But there you go. But onto the game, everyone. And Mitchell, I think you were there. I was there. And what I was saying to everyone, since this year started, I've not enjoyed any game at London Stadium. I've gone to Leeds at home, Southampton last night, and just sat there. And part of it could be I have to drive, because a lot of the train situations, I can't have more than, say, one rum at the moment, which is probably not helping my cause. But when I've been there, I just sat there. I went with Ginger Carroll, went with my daughter, and I just didn't think we were going to score. I just, even up to the edge of the area, I'll be normally off my seat going mad, banging in the next fan.
Same, mate.
I just sat there like that. Yeah.
I don't think you're ever really settled when you're watching West Ham, though. Because of, especially the game, how unpredictable it could have been. And now Watford actually had a lot of good chances and played really well. And then, anything could have gone either way.
Matt, I've got a message there for you, mate.
You know what? I was actually looking at an Instagram picture of quite a nice girl, so I'm sorry.
Ooh.
It is.
My wife doesn't listen to the show, so it's okay.
Look, no, what they used to say, Matt, look, but don't touch it, didn't they, back in the day? That's fine, mate.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, that's okay. Lineups, again, being honest, if I was the board, and I believe it's a board decision because they manage David Moyes, they're the highest management in the institution. They are the guardians of the good name of West Ham United and the history around it. I would have simply have not played him and wait until. I mean, things haven't helped in terms of timing. The news has gone out and we got a game the next day, so not much time to think about it. But I would have not played him. But as a fan, when I saw the lineup with him in it, I was happy. But that's another side to me. But I would have not played him really. And when I saw the lineup, I thought it's a great lineup compared to what we've got. It looks good. Mitchell, how do you feel when you? I was surprised, but nicely surprised in a way, Mitchell, when you saw that.
Yeah, I was 50-50 whether I was going to see Fabianski or Aviola, because obviously I know Aviola played in the last Premier League game against United. But yeah, to be fair, I was happy Fabianski came back in because I thought Aviola looked very shaky on Saturday. But yeah, I was happy to see Zuma. I was happy, even though I'm completely with you with the fact that I think if I was manager and I saw the kind of controversy, I probably wouldn't have started him. Because it's one of the situations. Obviously, he saw Diop on the bench and thought, "I cannot start that shit, cunt. I got to start Zuma." As bad as the situation is with him,
Probably
he
was
just
the
thought,
reason.
you know what? He's such a downgrade.
I don't want to swear either. That guy got hauled off half time against a non-league team. He's got an all-time lie. And Ian, when you saw the lineup and Dupe and things like that, what were your feelings, mate, running through that?
In fairness, I was quite pleased with it. It's essentially one player off our strongest lineup, but Ogbonna's obviously out injured, so you can't play him. Dawson's not a bad replacement, not the same caliber of player, but he's not a bad replacement. So you can't grumble too much, I don't think.
I would have started Soufal. I would have started Johnson. I'm really not keen on Soufal this season. He's really been off it for me every game, and yesterday as well. Especially in the first half, just really winding me up at the moment. Just not using his brain, just hoofing it up all the time, mate. He's just not using his brain at all.
We seemed obsessed with hoofing it up in the Watford game anyway.
Along the channels, it seems every game in a minute. Like when we've got no option, when we've got no composure, we just go. Like especially the fullback, so just go. Let's just try and knock it up to the striker, and 8 times out of 10, the defensive team just win it back easily, and it's just a lot. It winds me up.
I think James, if you look at Mike Catcher's comment, hello Mike, hope all's well. Couldn't quite catch up. I think he didn't go yesterday. Something happened at work. Again, I think this again is a transfer window. The board are saying it's Moyes' fault. Indirectly, Moyes is saying it's their fault, and the same again. No one's taking charge of any. I think the transfer window, I think, should be a manager taking scruff of the neck and controlling all of that. This decision, I think the board should have
and director of football
taken a decision out of David Moyes' hand. Yeah. So again, James,
we have got Rob Newman.
Yeah, I mean, regarding this decision yesterday, I think James. It's all over the place, mate. That's why I want to see Karen Brady on The Apprentice giving it the big one. She done nothing. She done nothing.
My cousin messaged me the other day saying he's a Man United fan. I cannot stand that slag cunt Karen Brady. I absolutely hate her. She's so just.
I don't think anyone likes her, to be honest.
No, but Matt, she's become an MD at the age of 21 at Birmingham. Hand-plated the job because her dad was very rich and connected. Probably gone to a good school. That's fine. That's another issue.
She's married to a Canadian.
Pascalito, Paolo. Was it Paul Pascalito? Yeah.
Fucking hell, do you know that?
Little.
The only thing she's got about her is that she's a MILF, and that's about it.
No, but the salary's tripled over the years. Her job she doesn't do. There's no real meaty corporate sponsorship that she attracts to the club in terms of the ground or the shirt sponsors.
She's
or the
just
boxing.
there to exist.
I agree.
None of the big banks in Canary Wharf have got a box at the ground, which I think is shocking. She doesn't do anything. That's her side, isn't it?
But I think she's there. What I've always understood her job is that she's there more to look after Golden Sullivan's money, to be honest, and to maximise revenue streams for them. You know?
Yeah, through sponsorship, isn't it? Through sponsorship.
Yeah, and not only sponsorship, mate. Look what they did. They paid off bank loans, and we now have loaned money from them. And where does the interest go? To them. You know what I mean? So it's just these little details. selling the stadium again, say selling Upton Park?
No, I think the interest setting would be done by the tax and accountants together, not her. She's
No, but I mean, she's there to get in ideas. You know what I mean? She's there to move things.
I don't see anything. If you remember, I mean, Mitchell, everyone who goes there will know that the first 2-3 years, they didn't have a Scooby what they're doing to the ground in terms of stewards. Someone reminded me yesterday, Jazz,
mate, the stewards ain't good enough for me. The stewards are an absolute mess, mate, for me still.
One little kid controlling all of our end, mate. Something kicks off, they ain't got a chance.
Not even that. They just don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck.
They're not managed by West Ham anymore, are they? They're part of the London Legacy Committee. So that's nothing to do with the running of the club. That's what we pay our rent for is for that service. And you are right, it's not good enough. But hopefully, if we do buy the stadium, obviously that then comes under the control of the club again, as it was at Upton Park, and it should be as it should be at a football stadium.
But Matt, you agree that the board should have.
Someone just shit their pants, rip their pants apart.
Matt, you think the board should have taken this decision out of David Moyes' hands?
Yeah, I think so, mate. I think the board did it as a scapegoat to leave Moyes as a scapegoat. To be honest, the board are saying, okay, the money's there. Moyes, they know he's diligent. They know he's dithering. So if he doesn't spend it, the buck stops with him.
And would you have changed anything from the starting lineup, Matt? Once you've seen it?
Sorry, mate.
Would you change anything in the lineup?
No. Maybe, like Mitchell says, Johnson. Oh, wait.
I'll come back to you, Matt. Matt,
still going off tonight.
Matt, I'll come back to you. James, anything you would have changed from the starting lineup or any player from the Watford team that you were a bit afraid of, mate? Or even further, would like to sign next season from them, mate? 3 questions there.
Yeah, I can answer all 3. The starting lineup, I always maintain, as I say on my channel, that our starting 11 is actually quite strong on the day. But it's a plan B that we never, ever have. And the fact that we don't have the plan B, i.e. that thing called depth, is what costs us. I think I'm glad that Diop's out. Even Moyes must hate Diop that much to drop him, and Diop's usually started. But Zuma getting back in was needed, regardless of the controversy. I felt that Benrahma was actually a cause of concern for me. I would have personally dropped Benrahma and probably started someone like Vlasic. And the reason being is because... Now, let me explain. Benrahma, in this Watford game, overcomplicated things a bit.
He didn't do nothing, James. Yeah, I agree. He was very average, mate.
He overcomplicates things.
Benrahma last night, Benrahma, mate.
Yeah, he did. But I don't think he got much of the ball, to be honest. I think it was just playing down the right.
He hit the post. We'll come to it later on. But yeah, carry on, James. Sorry.
Yeah.
4 in the 10 rolled all right, because he's not been too bad there. But I feel like when Lanzini came on, we started to play more forward and direct balls. And his passing helped us to change the game. Because until Lanzini came on, we had nobody who was really passing it forward. Dawson did it from the back a few times, but no one was passing it on the floor directly, that penetrative pass that we were known for doing a lot in our system at the start of the season. We needed that. And Lanzini changed the game in that sense. For Watford, their left-back, Kamara, be all over him if they go down. He was class. Emmanuel Dennis, I'll be all over him.
Oh, well. Dennis! Oh my God, Mitchell!
He was lurking around Fabianski a lot. We passing it back to Fabianski when Emmanuel Dennis is lurking is not a good idea.
I didn't see him lose the ball, James.
Will go right onto it.
Yeah, Dennis is very good.
The thing with Dennis was he wasn't in the area a lot like a typical striker. He was picking it up from the halfway line, taking it past 3-4 of our players. No one could get near him. Silky smooth. I think. Any of you can correct me. I think he cost hardly peanuts, less than $1 million, if anything. It didn't cost much. And Ian Dennis, for me, mate, whoa.
He's got that spark about him, isn't he? That ability to change a game in a moment. I'm going to change it slightly. Hunger's a good word for it. Ben Foster is a backup goalkeeper. If Fabianski's on his last legs, Areola's not going to sign a new contract. Randolph for me is shit, and Trott's not quite up to it.
I would buy Johnston and Areola together. Johnston being the free signing, both of them, and get rid of Fabianski bring him as a coach, and give Randolph back somewhere else. Yeah, that's what
I have a picture with Sam Johnston.
How tall is
Yeah.
he, James? How tall is he?
6'3", I'd
quite
say.
tall.
Yeah.
3'6'4".
I like tall goalkeepers, but Ian, yeah, I mean, fair point, mate. Fair point. Matt Dennis, I mean, I don't know if you saw the game, mate, or not. That guy just didn't lose the ball, mate.
Yeah.
Looked super
I
comfortable,
mentioned
mate.
Dennis in the preview. You know, that was one guy that I've been watching this year. Sorry, I've come back from that. It's because I was getting all hot under the collar from talking.
No.
Karen
If you
Brady,
need to go
Karen
away for a
Brady,
few
you know,
minutes,
getting
fine,
a
mate.
little bit excited, you know.
No, you're good.
But
Seriously, you're good.
Shush your cock.
But
No, you're good.
with Ben Rama, I thought that his positioning was far too deep as well. And I always like to confirm it with the heat maps. You know, I always like to look at the heat map to make sure I'm not talking at my ass. And you could see that yet again, his position was very deep. You know, for most of the game. And I just don't think that this left-handed side of the midfield is always one of those ones, isn't it? Whether Fornals is there, whether Ben Rama's there, no one's actually suited 100% to that position.
Yeah,
you know?
that position's so open for anyone, really.
It is.
They're good stop gaps, but they're never going to get past like an 85 or 90% of what someone who was a dedicated player in that position could live up to, you know, and fulfill the position. So, I mean, I can't complain too much. But, yeah, Dennis, definitely. I would definitely would like him. Definitely, without a doubt. Where would he fit in?
I don't think he was fit, Matt, last night. I think he kept sort of kneeling, bending over, breathing, and I thought he was going off any minute. Then he kept picking himself up. But because he was playing in a poor team, I think that's why he had to pick up the ball around the halfway line and keep it. If we under our midfield, if we told him just stay up there, mate, compared to. I hate to say it.
He might not fit in, Jazz, with our system. He's not that tall. I think he's about 5'6".
Yeah, he can't play up front.
He looks about 5'7". You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know exactly. He looks around 5'7". And so
I don't know. Fornals, Lanzini, Benrahma, Vlasic, even Bayern, they're all quite small though.
Yeah,
but that's why everyone.
Would you play Mitch as a striker, as a lone striker?
Would you play Mitch as a lone striker? I would, personally. I'd play myself as a lone striker. I'm better than Antonio, and I'm not taking the piss either.
Dennis is a lone striker? Because, I mean, he's more suited to play as a
striker. 100%.
Yeah, but what did everyone say? Plan B for me is 2 up front. We don't have that. You know?
But it's not just in terms of players. The game plan needs to change. We never changed our game plan up in terms of going forward. We always keep at the same kind of way, and we did. Like it took a lucky goal really yesterday. Otherwise, it would have been a 0-0 at home to a shocking Watford side when we're trying to chase top 4, and they're relegation favourites. Do you know what I mean? And I think our attacks at the moment are so stale, and when they do go stale, we just don't mix it up, and it takes a bit of individual excellence for us to win the game, not the actual game plan. And we keep. A lot of the times at the moment, we just keep going down the channels, down the wings, and trying to cross it in and cut it back. And we're not scoring any goals from that. The only times we're scoring goals is like, for example, Rice's goal Saturday, Yarmolenko's, also the one where Yarmolenko had that shot from outside the box. Yesterday, Bowen had a shot outside the box. We barely do those things compared to when we cross it in. But when we do those things, like shots outside the box, we get a lot more luck. And I think we need to play down the centre a lot more in the upcoming games because we're getting found out, I think, at the moment.
I think Ian, yesterday, the things going on the back of what Mitchell just said, Antonio's movement, obviously not a natural striker. He doesn't move anyway. He just stands there, gets crowded. Benrahma, for me, should have wanted the ball a bit more, and he was a little bit not asking for it. He's the one who can unlock things, and perhaps we saw a little bit of that later on with Lanzini. Fornals, he just runs around and there's a fair bit of whatever. You know.
Jazz, one thing I will say, mate, is that I agree with you. 2 up front is a plan B. But if you go back, even when the times when we had the perfect second striker in Chicharito, you know, we had the perfect second striker. And we didn't play him as a second
I think we played him up front by himself, Matt, if I'm right.
Yeah, we did. It was weird.
We always play strikers with a system that doesn't suit them.
And let me tell you one thing.
Chicharito, though, was a good impact player, I think. Even though everyone called for him to start, I don't know. I always used to think that he was better as coming off from the bench, personally.
Me too, but coming on and with a change of substitution and a change of system, you know, to go 2 up front. Yeah. And so Moyes did it, and Moyes had him at both Man United. And in fact, there was an interview when Chicharito came to the MLS here, And he said they were asking about previous managers, and of course he was managed under Moyes at both Man United and West Ham, and he said that by far Moyes was the most stubborn manager that he ever came across, and not criticising him in other ways, but he was just saying if he had to say one
we all
thing
know
about
that though,
Moyes,
don't we? We all know that with Moyes.
Yeah, but
and I think that's something he could change. I think.
Yeah, but that's the thing, mate. We talk about having this change of system, and I've talked about it many times, and we all have. But the thing is, if we know that he had one of the best second strikers in the world to make it, like you say, an impact sub that he could have moved to bring two up front, and he didn't do it. If we don't have anyone, he's less likely to do it. So I mean, it's just really disappointing right now, and like many of us have said, we're beginning to get found out by the other teams, and they know how to play against us. Perfect example. Roy Hodgson set up perfectly to at least get a draw out of us after 6 days in charge?
Yeah.
A week in charge?
2 games, 0 goals scored for him.
Listen, Mitchell knows we got carved out at least twice badly yesterday, and I don't know how they didn't score. The cross went in, Mitchell, and we were like, nowhere. The corners, we can't defend corners, mate, or free kick. Fabianski just stands there waiting for someone else, and we're dreadful, mate, at corners. Creswell.
I don't know, I think corners ain't too bad, if I'm being honest.
No, I think I think
they put really good crosses in, though. I think that was why it looks good. But I don't know. I think corners don't think we defend
Mitchell, did you
bad.
go to the Kidderminster game? Did you go?
Yeah.
Mate, what was all that about the short corners? BBC Alan Shearer, rightly so, was ripping West Ham apart. Saying,
absolutely, disgraceful.
What is it with us doing that?
Disgraceful.
Yeah.
The abuse, honestly, in the second half especially, that's the most I think I've ever seen abuse for towards West Ham players. Not like personal stuff, just in terms of just cutting everyone off. Most I've ever seen. It was so. I was just laughing at it actually in the end of the first half. That performance on Saturday, it was actually quite funny in the end because I just couldn't believe it what I was seeing. Someone said just right to me, "John Moss, you diabetes riddled cunt."
Oh, for God's sake! Oh my God! My God.
And I was cracking up, but I was shaking my head. Right, mate. Just good. He was such a cunt, honestly, John Moss.
Right, we're going to start off quickly about what actually really went on in the game, but I'm going to one at a time. Ian, if you'd like to address this question from Mandy.
Possibly. Leicester not in the best of forms. I think he's possibly having a bit of a hangover from the Africa Cup of Nations. Obviously not having the best time there. Coming back to the pace of the Premier League. We all know he's got ability. Is he going to be allowed to show it though? We've all heard the reports previously that Moyes doesn't want him doing his skills and his trickery and doing that. So he may have more time on the ball, but what will he do with it? Or will it be a simple sideways pass every time?
Great, thank you. Mitchell, take this one away. Take this question away, mate.
For Dawson's side last night, I don't really like Dawson too much. I think he's a good backup at centre half. He's a good player to have in the squad, maybe to shore up a defence if we're winning a game against Man United where you want to go just 5 at the back. But however, I did think last night he was excellent. I'm not gonna lie, I thought he was very good. And at Kidderminster when he came on, I thought he was very good.
He did get turned twice though last night, Mitchell. But luckily,
he gets turned every game. But I think we know that with Dawson. He's what is he? 31. He's a very slow defender.
Very slow.
He turns like a tugboat.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't have much of a problem with him as I have Diop, and actually, in fact, nowhere near his completely level. Purely because people say that Diop is a good centre half and that he's worth loads. But we all know Dawson ain't a top quality centre half. We know he's a player that should be really on the bench all the time. And I think he knows that. And he knows that because his wages are 50 grand a week. They're not too much. We bought him for 3 million, 4 million. So he knows what he is, and we know what it is. So I've got no problem with Dawson, to be honest.
Perfect.
And I thought he done well last night.
James, take this one away, mate.
Norwich have just gone 1-0 up in the 40 seconds against Crystal Palace.
40 seconds? Who scored?
I'm watching it on my phone. Pookie did.
Wow, little Pookie. I don't feel you're allowed to like Pookie.
Actually, I want to get the game on my TV just right here.
Yeah, go ahead.
A little monitor.
Yeah, James, take that question away, mate, about Lanzini.
He definitely changed the game. No one else can kill. That's what I said in my video. I completely agree with you, Mike. Lanzini has had a transitional period in his role in the team. He's now become a bit more of a direct passer and is touching the ball a lot more with his whole new midfield role. it's not his goal scoring that counts for me. It's the fact that what he does other than that, he makes good through ball passes, Lanzini.
And it always looks forward, doesn't he?
He looks
Sorry to
forward,
interrupt you,
exactly.
sorry.
You're right, Mitchell. What I felt last night is we were doing a lot of sideways passes, and when Lanzini came on for Benrahma, I thought it was a very good substitution from Moyes. What that meant for us is we would have more direct passes at the ball and someone who could pass centrally from the midfield rather than going on the flanks. Because when we're going on the flanks, we're getting closed down by Firmina and Kamara all the time, and we're doing it on the flanks. And okay, fair enough. We have got very good assisting left backs and right backs. That's not an issue, but it's happening all too often. If we just play the ball on the ground and put those balls through the middle, it can cut through a defence like a hot knife through butter. And that's what Lanzini did. Yeah, deflection on the way, but I don't care. Lanzini's pass was really good. He is probably one of our best players last night.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Change the game.
Matt, this question for you, mate.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't say no. Would he come with any other position apart from being first choice? I don't think so. I don't think he would come to us as being a backup. So, I mean, I like your idea, Jazz, of having Areola and Sam Johnson. Will be
12 million for both of them.
It will be fantastic, mate.
Yeah, but one's not going to want to sit on the bench.
Yeah,
you got to believe in your ability.
Areola's sat on the bench this season.
Yeah, you got to believe in your ability.
They got to fight for their place, and when they fight for it, and one of them wins it, then
the only thing that is worrying for me about Areola. I would like to sign Areola. I've never did it, but his wages. He would have to, I think it's on, what was it, 185 grand a week or something? Absolutely.
I think it's 140 now. I think 140. It's a lot.
You know what I mean? Way out.
Wow, then doesn't look doable,
I don't
mate.
know, it's not my money, but I mean, I wouldn't pay Areola more than 80, 90 maximum. You know, I think you'd have to almost hit half his wages, maybe 100 grand. I mean, but you can't pay, considering our wage structure. But if you ask me between Johnson and Areola, I still think I would prefer Areola. I think he just has that little bit extra, and I think we could probably. I think he would be a little bit better for the team.
He needs to run in the squad, I think, more. I think he needs a good run of games, Areola, because he's getting his odd couple games.
Yeah, you got to give a goalkeeper.
I have no doubt that when he gets in the team, he'll absolutely smash it.
I think he will, because his
certain.
Record has shown it. Like, you don't win one of the best keepers. He was one of the best keepers in the league last season.
Well, he was the only keeper to make more saves last year than Fabianski.
There you go.
Oh, really?
Well, but every time I watched Fulham, I thought it was just outstanding, like the saves he made. To be fair though, this season I have to say I don't like the way he commands his box. I think he could command his box a bit better. He don't look too dominant.
But there, look who's in front of him. He's trying to be.
No, but Fabianski does though. I do as much, even though I think Fabianski ain't as good as Areola. I think Fabianski commands his box a lot better.
No, I don't think so. No, not.
Do you not?
No.
I think he comes up across his much better, to be honest.
I think the command of the box is down to Zuma at the minute. If I'm honest, I think he's the one in charge.
But to be honest, Areola beats it for me with distribution because Fabianski with his distribution is terrible these days. Areola looks like at least he has a little bit more of an idea because Fabianski pisses me off. Farts around with the ball and ends up.
Yeah, they were well slow yesterday, Matt, getting it out, mate. Well slow. You remember Mitchell side to side. Oh,
so frustrating.
So frustrating. Get them move the ball forward, mate. Next question for you, Ian. Vlasic, are you going to write him off, or are you going to wait next season, mate?
I like him as a player. I do agree. I think we've overpaid for him. But when you look at the current market of football, if this was to happen 10 years ago, we would have paid 5 million for him. Where players are going for £100 million, sort of was unheard of not too long ago. It now seems to be every other transfer is that sort of money. So I think you've got to give him a little bit of time to bed in. Benrahma took him a little while. Bowen took him a little while. I think his work rate is there. It's just sort of have his rub of the green and take a couple of good performances, and I think confidence will start flowing. We'll see the best of him.
Brilliant, mate. And Mitchell, have you seen milk turn quicker? Ginger Cow saying than Dawson.
Milk. I just saw an advert for Weetabix just now.
Oh, you got news.
Milk turn quicker. Oh, who's that about? Sorry, who's that about?
Ginger Andy Carroll about Dawson saying that he's seen milk turn quicker.
Oh,
than
bless him. Bless Dawson. Don't. Poor Craig. Hey.
Jazz, there was one about Pellegrini's signings, mate, about have any of them worked? And I think the only two ones that have worked are Fabianski and Fornals.
I think Anderson, you can't really...
Yeah.
I think done well in his first season, to be fair, mate.
I think Anderson was his own worst enemy.
I just think, I actually think under a different coach, I think he would have done better. I think if actually, because he played so deep and he always was really deep. And I thought when he was in that box, I thought he was really good, Anderson. But he just played so deep all the time and gave away the ball countless times.
I think in this team, Mitch, I think he'd be absolutely brilliant on the left-hand
side. I think he'd be much better in this team, I agree, yeah.
Especially when he got stuck alongside Masuaku, you could see, in those games where he got stuck, Anderson with Masuaku, both on the left-hand side, it was sunk. But I really think that Felipe Anderson on this team, and let's not even say it, Dimitri Payet on this left-hand side will take us maybe into the top 4.
Well, that's we need a left winger, mate. I really would like a left winger next season. Even a real left winger.
Yeah, I think Ward Prowse will be good, mate, in the middle, giving us.
He's not really a left winger, though.
No. I mean, in terms of Payet style free kicks and set pieces.
Oh yeah, in terms of that way, yeah.
Penalties. I mean, it'll be brilliant, mate. First half, I mean. They went close after 17 minutes. Kuko received a lofted pass in the goal area and a dangerous header. Just sailed narrow the white sort of left post. Bowen deep inside, shot on 36 minutes again.
Deep inside, yeah.
Don't give Steve any ideas, mate. Yeah. I mean, first half, I think to summarise, we weren't moving the ball around as quick as we should have. And obviously, teams sometimes are more organised and come to sit. I mean, teams like Man City get that every week. But, yeah, I understand their players are obviously worth a lot more than ours. But I just didn't... It was pretty flat, the crowd. I think the players were just side to side, and the fans like oohing, eyeing, and come on, move it, do this, do that.
It was strange. Very weird atmosphere last night, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if... the guys that watched it on TV, did you get the same feelings watching it and saying like it's going a bit flat and it's only I thought Watford going to score. It's a matter of time. I personally felt I thought Watford going to do something, mate. Yeah,
you could get the idea that the stadium wasn't buzzing. You could definitely get that vibe from the coverage I was watching. I mean, you can't perceive it in the same way, obviously, but you could get the idea that it was a flat and kind of like one of those. It's happening again, kind of attitudes. Do you know what I mean, in the stadium?
We couldn't get any chance going in our section. Usually, we can get going a bit, but we couldn't get it at all. Like, there's a couple more empty seats than usual as well, so that might have made it harder as well.
James, amazingly, I think Ginger Andy Carroll sitting quite near me, nearly kind of collapsed in shock when David Moyes made a quick. What in his terms is a quick substitution after 60 minutes. And because Benny is the one, he loves to hold him off anyway, doesn't he, James? He doesn't really like him.
He does. He makes the same substitutions as well, predictable substitutions. Usually if Fornals is coming off, it's either Ben Rama or Lanzini coming on, or vice versa. So that's something that hasn't changed either. So I just knew Lanzini would come on at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, before we go into obviously what happened in the later stages of the game, lovely remembrance for Isla, I think, at the beginning. Her mum was meant to be there, but that's fine. She's not in a good position at the moment to come. That's fine. And that was all respected really well. And obviously they played the video of her mum, and it's good to hear that they're going to carry on the good work against this battle and hopefully against other diseases and continue the good work they've done really on that. So hopefully in the future we'll see them. I think so. That all went sort of good bit of respect there for that really. Gerard Bowen, 68 minutes, bit of an odd goal, huge deflection. Again, if I'm right, I think Lanzini spotted him, wanted the ball, got it to him, he ran forward, and like we used to say, if you don't shoot, you don't score. And he was my captain in Fantasy Football League, so I took a personal liking to that. And Ian, it came out of it just came out of nowhere. I didn't know how he was going to score, mate.
Well, it's one of those. I think Ben Foster makes Watford much stronger as well. His shot stopping ability. A few good saves, a number of clearances, and say a little bit of luck comes our way every now and again. Last night we had it with a deflection sent in the wrong way. Everyone's happy. It's not pretty, but a win's a win, isn't it? At this stage of the season where we look like we're struggling for a decent performance, you've got to take the 3 points with a smile. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
I think so. Mitchell, do you think the atmosphere had a lot to do with the transfer window? Perhaps a bit of sadness in there, perhaps Zuma, all things mixed together, perhaps. Yeah.
I think transfer window has a big impact on it. I think the result against Kidderminster, a bit embarrassing. It's just really poor performance, very flat. And I think midweek fixtures were always quite quiet anyway, to be honest, mate.
I'm really worried about the timings, Mitchell. I've seen, and then there's things like Sunday 2:00, Saturday 12:00, and it's just we're not getting 5:00.
I like Saturday 12:00.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you have a whole day then. You can go to a pub, watch the rest of the games.
Yeah, and hopefully the train. Yeah. I mean, 12:00 Saturday, mate, is a lot better than 12:00 Sunday. Yeah, due to train.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I have to wake up at 5:00 in the morning for that.
And James, you watch every game live when you can, or it's difficult, isn't it, James?
Well, it's easier for me really because I just wake up in the morning and it's a West Ham game. I ain't got to wait like 6 or 7 hours like you lot. I try and watch.
I couldn't do that.
I think I've only missed one, or because of I was working early, and that's about it.
Yeah, him at the early 6 o'clock, and I'm up early every day at 5:00 anyway. So
I didn't realise how. Hang on a minute. So 68th minute, and something happened on the 78th minute, Matt, where Jeremy Ngakia came on and got a lot of boos, mate. Rightly so. I think he came on after 78 minutes. There's a name I had forgotten, mate.
Yeah. I mean, that one was always a weird one, wasn't it? Because he said he wanted first team games. He said he wanted to, to move.
No, but he was in the team, mate. Out of nowhere, David Moyes brought him in.
Really strange. I don't think it's Moyes, was it? It's Pellegrini.
I don't think
Moyes brought him in.
It was Moyes.
Yes, it was Moyes. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, Moyes.
I don't think you've seen the same thing that's happened at Leeds right now, where they had a lot of injuries and they had a kid called Dramé. I think his name is Dramé, and he was lined up to cover this spot on the right back spot until Luke Ayling came back, or Luke Ayling was covering at centre back, and all of a sudden he threw his toys out the pram and went to Cardiff on loan as well. So I mean, sometimes you just don't understand what's going on behind the scenes, but. I don't think he deserved booze. I think he was a young kid, just made a bad decision, and it probably was a bad decision because, to be honest, I mean, if we'd have kept Ngakia, I mean, maybe we wouldn't have got Sufau in. I mean, maybe Ben Johnson would have come through a little bit earlier. I mean, if, like you say, if my grandmother had a wheel, she would be a bicycle, So we don't really know about what's going. We don't really know what's going on.
Yeah, but Matt, when your club gives you that start, keeps you in the team, great performances against Man City, Liverpool, very steady player, look like maturity beyond his years, and then he do
very
that.
Good. He did look very good.
Very
loyalty's changed, mate. I mean, if we go back to the romantic idea of football that I still love, but I mean nowadays it's mercenary. You know what I mean? And it's an interchange of money with performance. And at the end of the day. Since the Van Basten times, and going back from the early 90s, the Bosman ruling player power has increased, and to be honest, it's just completely different. Would I have kept Ngakia? I think I would have done, mate, and I didn't like him. I think we feel the same about Ngakia as we do with Grady. No, we would have liked him to stay. We would have liked to have seen what they could have done at the club.
Grady. I think it was the right decision, just being honest and cruel out there.
Yeah, I agree.
Ngakia, I think it was the agent pushing the move. I think it was the agent. And he wasn't, perhaps he's a very quiet, not very confident lad and got perhaps controlled a bit by the agent. That's my guess, mate, from far off, not really knowing what's going on. Really.
I mean, I would have, it's easy for us to judge now, but I would have liked to keep Diangana maybe maybe another year.
We've got good money for Diangana, remember, Matt? We've got good money for him, mate.
Yeah, but who did we spend it on?
Who was it? I can't remember. Who was it?
Yeah, but would you rather kept him and he become an absolute nothing player for us, actually have sold him for 20 million and potentially invested it again? I still would have rather taken the money.
Yeah. We don't
What a
sell any
save.
players for what name.
I'm watching the Villa Leeds game right now.
Yeah, same.
Which one you on,
Melee.
Nick?
That's the game.
Just so you know, my stream's about 5 seconds slow, so thanks for spoiling it. Oh, what a save!
What second are you on?
133.
Does anyone
49. Good save that was, wasn't it?
Does anyone follow Dean Garner still? Steve reckons he can't get any games at West Brom. So
he's done out. He's done out here.
I think they've been for a few managers now, haven't they? West Brom since he signed, and I think it's maybe a mentality thing of not wanting to really graft to get into the team. He's certainly got natural ability, but
he hasn't exactly
it depends on the people around him, people in his ear, as to whether it. I think that's a difference, isn't it, between a good footballer and a great footballer? Is the people that they surround themselves with? Do they push them to be great, or do they just sort of take advantage?
Yeah, from Noble's interview, it sounded like Noble would have maybe taken him under his wing. You know, that's it sounded like there was a connection there.
Watkins.
And who knows what could have gone on? You know, especially with the rise of Rice coming through.
I think different clubs suit players differently. I think if Dean Garner did stay with us, I think he actually could have been a really good player. Obviously different clubs did play, and same with Ngakia. I think if Ngakia continued to be our first right back, I think he might have been a really good player as well. It depends. Obviously, players make wrong decisions. Happens all the time. Torres, for example, going to Chelsea.
I think we've got good coaches at the club who do get the best out of every player. You know?
I agree. I think we do. Yeah,
that kind of helps them as well.
Yeah,
I just think we need more pace.
We've got the best training ground. That helps as well. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, this is one of the first games I've left early. I left after 89 minutes. Everyone.
That's disgusting, Jazz.
And because I just thought that it looks like it doesn't look like anything's going to happen. We're 1-0 up, and unless something really unlucky happens, it doesn't look like Watford got the quality to finish it. They should have got 1 or 2 goals, as far as I'm concerned. Stats wise, everyone 65% West Ham, 35 them. They had 6 goal attempts. We had 9. They only had 1 shot on goal in the whole 90 minutes. Wow.
How many shots target did we have on goal?
3.
3.
3? 3, yeah. It's not good enough, is it? At home to Watford.
When you look at just passing stats in their isolation, we look like a prime Barcelona. 609 passes in one game. I mean, not that we did anything with them.
Exactly. That's the thing. And most of them were between the back 4, weren't they? That's the thing.
But yeah, that was always expected against Watford, to be honest, wasn't it? A Watford away from home under Roy Hodgson. I mean, it would have been criminal to get anything less than 60% possession, to be honest.
Yeah.
League table is in front of everyone. We happily went above Manchester United yesterday, which was good because everyone was expecting that famous United winner in the 99th minute, perhaps.
Oh, that's a good ball.
It never arrived. Looking at that table, Matt, what's your feelings, mate? Listen,
the only thing now is we've just got to focus on our games, focus on picking up the points, because everyone behind us, even though they've got 3 games in hand, what the ones I'm talking about mainly is Tottenham's, Arsenal and Wolves. At the end of the day, the pressure's on them to pick up the points, because they've got those games in hand, and you start to lose one because they say, it's because they've got games in hand. Yeah, but how many out of 9 points are you going to pick up with 3 games in hand, especially with the inconsistency of Tottenham, Arsenal, Wolves? So, I mean, realistically, for me, it's just keep ploughing on, we've got a Leicester that's obviously very, very erratic right now, beating Liverpool, for example, then going and those kind of disasters that they're going through. And I mean,
quite confident for Leicester.
Yeah, I mean, Leicester, you never know how they're going to turn up, do you? They could be absolutely blind, or they could be absolutely terrible. But we just need to focus on performances. You know what I mean? Getting the basics right, shored up at the back, especially, as we don't have Ogbonna there and Zuma's taking the brunt of it. Getting our fullbacks up. And I don't know if you guys saw the heat map that I sent in the group yesterday about, compared to every other team, the gap in the box and just outside the box was complete. It just shows we're so one-dimensional, and I don't know.
Down the wings. I saw that.
Yeah, just maybe. You know what? Maybe stick with Moyes. Moyes, you know what, mate? You're right. Stick if Antonio drops off form, stick Bowen up front. Give him a shot and just tell him, run the line, push on the last man, and just try and break through. You know, just something different. I mean, because if we continue to play in this same way for the rest of the season, we're not going to get top 4. We're not going to get top 6. We need to spice it up, and we don't have players to do it. So we need to get maybe a bit more creative with how we play.
Ian, I just thought of something.
Bang on, Matt.
Ian, do you think we're not motivated when we don't play top 5? Maybe is that something to consider? Like, because when we play Norwich, we're pretty flat, mate. But if it's Chelsea, Man United, bloody hell, mate, the crowd, everyone's. I don't know.
It's always been the way for as long as I can. As long as I can remember that the games you on paper that you look at and say, okay, that's winnable, that's an easy win. We seem to struggle, and then we'll say we'll have Liverpool at home and give them a right hiding. So maybe it is a mentality thing. Crowd gets up for a big game. Obviously, what do you get excited about before playing Watford? What is there to get excited about? You know what you're gonna get. They're gonna stick 11 men behind the ball and hope for a lucky counter attack. But I think Matt summed it up perfectly. We've concentrate on our games and one game at a time. Just try and put in a decent performance and push on from there. I don't think there's any other way to tackle it. Looking at the table, you can look at it and add it all up and go, oh, okay, we could end up sort of 9th, 10th if all results go the wrong way. But then we'd only have ourselves to blame because we've got to play some of those teams still. So,
yeah, I think, James, the goal difference is something I always look at, and we're looking good, but I just feel it could be even better. We let Norwich off the hook, messed up against.
It was
Leeds.
very good at the start of the season, wasn't it? It was
It
very
was
good.
still good, but it could be so much better. It's 10 at the moment. United is 6, Tottenham 2, and Arsenal are bloody hell, they're on 8. Okay, they've caught up, and then the only 2 behind us then, which is a shame. But
I can't see us finishing top 6 this season, being honest. If it is.
No.
It might sound negative, but I don't know, mate. I just
One thing, Matt, we've touched wood. I don't think we've had many injuries last 2 years, and I don't know why we haven't added. It's just it could be a lot worse, mate, if we had another 2 first team.
Injuries right now will be absolutely diabolical because, like we've talked about so many times, great team, poor squad. You know, so I mean, if we were to get 2 or 3 injuries, it would absolutely. I mean, if we were to go through what Leeds, for example, not to repeat on Leeds, but to, what Leeds we've been going through, we'd be absolutely crippled. You know, because we'd sink like a rock. So I mean,
what a goal!
Oh, you just ruined it for me. Thank you, Mitchell.
Sorry, mate. Have a look at this. You'll see. I'm not gonna say for James. Very good.
Flipping hell.
Hang on, I can't even. It's not even updated on the website.
And Daniel James as well, who was absolute trash.
I think if you look at the league table as well, what you have to take for a positive is we've got 40 points now, so it's unlikely we're going to get relegated.
Bro just scored. Oh wow!
Yes.
I thought he was.
Yeah, Bro just scored.
I'd love West Ham, mate.
Yeah.
But he looks like I reckon he'll sign for Southampton.
They won't sell us these players anymore. The Chelsea United. That's the issue, I think, for me.
I don't know. We signed Zuma.
No, but that was they didn't. They thought it was a one season. Like they're not really going to be up there again, and we kind of are there or thereabouts. It is what it is.
Finish.
Corky,
very nice to take him.
I'd get Costa. I'd get Costa in, honestly, mate. I'd get him now.
No, it's not happening, mate. Because Moyes said his character. He can be.
I know. Moyes can go fuck himself. In terms of signings, mate.
Costa would score goals.
He would, and he would. Honestly, it would have more impact on the game than what Antonio's having at the minute. Because Antonio just really ain't good enough, mate. Really ain't. His position would be excellent, and the fact that we put so many crosses in, and so many of them are just like nothing crosses, and we never find anyone. I think you could put crosses in, shit crosses in. I think Costa would fight for him a lot more. Because I think Antonio, I don't know, he's a weird one at the moment. He's not really fighting that much. He gets player all he does is wrestle with the player when he's got his back to him. That's all he does in every game. And he moans about it. He goes, "Arr, arr," and it winds me up.
Yeah, but he's got no one to compete with, so it's hard to stay competitive at that point, isn't it? If he's not being challenged for his space, he hasn't got to put in a performance every week.
Yeah, but that doesn't excuse it. Though,
it doesn't excuse it, but I think that's the reason why his performances have dropped off.
James,
James, going back
to Matt's point, saying that teams be under pressure despite the games in hand. I think there's a fair advantage because you know what you need to do, which I don't agree with. You know, I think, you know, Tottenham that 93rd minute equaliser, 95th minute winner, which I'll kill Leicester for that. But yeah, what do you think, James? Is it 50-50 in terms of advantage? Like you know what you need to do, but then perhaps you feel under pressure if at the beginning of the game you quickly begin to lose or things like that. I don't know.
It's all to play for, really, and it's just we just got to take care of ourselves.
Oh my God, Leicester have only played 20 games, 4 games less than us. Wow, how the hell you catch that up?
Wow,
Yeah, 4 games in 5 days, I think.
My worry is
fair way to do it.
But my worry is that I don't want the league season extended to help these guys. I don't want it. You know, that's going to be a bit not out of order, mate. You know, and
I don't think it will be. I think they'll find the fixtures in somewhere because it looks like COVID's kind of going down again. Or it looks like I don't know what's going on.
Well,
Newcastle. Jazz, I'm sorry, mate. I've got to go. I've been called into a situation. So
yeah. You take care of it. We're going to close off a few minutes. Thanks for your help. We'll catch up in the next couple of days, mate.
Bye, guys.
Kid's got his head stuck in the toilet.
Take care of you. Take care, guys.
See you later.
Take care. Take care, mate.
James. Bye, Jazz. Bye, Mitch.
Take care, mate. Newcastle are back in the bottom 3, everyone. So they're in the bottom 3 for now.
I really want them to get relegated. It'd be brilliant. I'd absolutely love it.
I'd nick a load of players off them.
Has anyone seen that big Dutch guy that Burnley signed, 6'6"?
What, Weghorst? Who we were linked with?
I don't rate him, if I'm being honest, mate. I really don't think he'll do anything for Burnley. I think it'll be all right. Bit overrated, I think.
He got an assist, didn't he?
It's not like Burnley to sign non-UK players.
They've done it with Cornet as well. Cornet's been a great signing for them, hasn't
he? Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Southampton's winning.
Are they? Yeah, 1-0, weren't they?
No, I think it's
gone. Someone just commented, come on, Southampton.
Oh, I don't know. Let me check. Hang on a minute. Oh, no, they're probably commentating on the equaliser, 1-1.
Who scored?
No, I only know about the 1-1. I think Bob's just on about the 1-1. Yeah.
Who scored for Spurs?
Own goal, mate.
It was an own goal.
Badner.
Oh,
bloody hell.
Palm on Southampton.
Goals recently.
Kane, Son, Moura. Yeah, they got everyone back again. Yeah, the usual team. Fucking never get injured. Usual stuff. Tottenham are going to win that.
Laugh, Bob. He's about 9:38.
Oh, bloody hell, mate. Southampton are doing well in terms of chances.
They've got a good manager.
They blow hot and cold as well, though, don't they, Southampton? You could turn up and beat them 10-0, or equally they could easily beat you 4-0. It just depends what way the wind's blowing, I think.
I like Southampton as a club. I think decent club.
My stepmom's dad played for them.
Yeah?
What's the
in
name?
The 50s. His name was Tim Womack.
Okay, 50s. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, everyone, it was 1-0. Yep, we're 4th. United result was quite a nice surprise for us. It is what it is. We've got Leicester coming up and then Newcastle. Those are the next 2 games. Leicester away, Newcastle at home. Mitchell, are you going to Leicester away, mate?
Nah, I've got tickets. Okay. Gutted. It's the best away day as well.
It's
gutted.
Weird, though. How
gutted.
I've been with Doncaster fans.
Yeah. How'd I get them? I get them through a person I know. Because last few seasons, he's been able to get her first all the time. This year, he's struggling. And because of that, my loyalty point is saying that high, saying at 19 now. So I struggle to get him for loyalty points.
How'd you get the Kidderminster ones, mate?
I got him from him. He was able to get him.
Oh, cool, mate. That's good. Birmingham. How's the journey there and back, mate, Birmingham?
It was fine. It was fine. He drove, my cousin drove, so that was all right. That was all sweet. Because he had a party to get to, so
yeah,
not too bad. Yeah,
perfect. Ian, final words from you, mate. We're still a little bit, looking at over our shoulder. Zuma, is he going to play weekend? I ain't got a clue, mate. What's going on?
I think he will play. I think if give it 6 weeks, it'll all blow over. Anyone will have forgot about it. It'll be out the media eye. There'll be a news story, and it'll be sort of business as normal. Looking ahead to Leicester, last 3 games, we've put a fair few past them. So hopefully that continues and get a decent performance this weekend.
Yeah, everyone's saying, So after the show, I think I'm going to run off and have a look at James. Final comments from you, mate, and thanks for coming on.
No, just good show tonight, lads.
So we had a couple of lads couldn't make it, so hopefully get them on next time.
Yeah.
But that's all good of you filling in. That's a point of the West Ham Irons channel squad. See, we bought a lot of players in transfer window, West Ham. Look what we're doing.
Exactly, yeah.
And we got a strong bench.
Yeah.
There was a couple that were ready to come on at short-term notice, and yeah, that's the point of a strong squad. So, so thanks everyone. With a lot of giggles and the usual West Ham Irons channel. You know, there's a lot of funny things going on earlier with Ginger Carroll that you got to watch as well. But
Yeah. What was going on there? What was going on there?
Let me remember. I think that's it. So he's got his phone and he's like, it's like he's getting alerts every 10 seconds, and then we put it on the floor or somewhere else, and then
silly little giggles that only me and you find funny.
Matt's in the well. Steve, I got to buy him a TV, like a phone stand, because his phone's always toppling over every 10 seconds.
Who's Steve? Steve.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
Mate, I'm leaning mine against a speaker. Like you can lean it against anything. I don't know why you sort of found something.
Yeah, I mean,
even a photo frame, like for fuck's sake.
Yeah, Steve's like that. Then he goes that way. Then he goes that way. Then he goes in the dark.
That's just because he's always pissed up.
Anyway, before we go, I'm just going to show you lads something to keep on your minds when you go to bed. There we go. There we go. There we go. Have a lovely evening, everyone. And wow,
she's getting on a bit now as well, and she still looks unreal.
Listen, that is perfect for me. And come on, you irons! Come on, you irons! Come on, you irons! Let's carry on winning somehow with our lovely small squad. And thank you, everyone, for joining in. And take care.